Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. We have some breaking news here in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Now, normally I don't like to do my weekly news segment, This Week in Master Duel, so early into the week. However, we just got floored today at the day I'm recording this, yesterday, the day this goes out, by some notifications in-game, not even a leak, but in-game. Well, it does actually tie into some leaks that we very recently actually just got done talking about. Let me pop up here to notifications, and those of you who have logged in, again, yesterday, today, the day I'm recording this, have noticed that we not only have a new selection pack about to drop, but new secret packs as well. The fact that we're getting a new selection pack now, I think is particularly interesting, because this is about the time we would normally expect to get one, right? Which means that the last selection pack, wherever it is, wait, where is it actually? It shouldn't be here somewhere? Yeah, here we go. Blazing Arena that we got like just a week and a half ago was not an early drop, but an additional drop. I think that's really, really interesting. I'm going to talk more about the implications of that here later on in the segment. So let's start with the new selection pack, and then we'll look at the new secret packs afterward, because there's actually a lot of new secret packs coming out, and, well, again, we'll get more into those when we go into that section here. All right. A new selection pack is here. Date available is going to be April 10th. I'm not sure, because I know in, like, United States time, they drop in, like, the middle of the night, or at, like, 3 a.m. my time. So, let's see. Today, again, the day I'm recording this is the 8th, so, Tuesday the 9th, Wednesday. So would it be available Wednesday? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. In any case, I definitely will be cracking these open as soon as they come out. Maybe not this pack. Maybe I'll focus more on the secret packs. Because one thing I will say about this, and I think a lot of people are in a similar boat, is like, y'all, we just had a selection pack. Our gem stashes are hurting right now. I know mine is. And it's like, you're really going to drop another pack that soon? But again, I'll talk about that in a moment. Let's talk about what's in this first. So for the selection pack, Nightmare Arrivals. All new type, Illusion type, has finally appeared, in addition to the newly empowered Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. Additional cards will join forces such as Altergeist. The mysterious power of darkness heralds the arrival of a new era. So yeah, the big kind of release from this pack here is going to be the new Illusion monsters. We did go over them very, very briefly in our last This Week in Master Duel video, but let's see here. Looks like Nightmare Magician, Altergeist, Adminia, Evolzar Lars, Chimera the King of Phantom Beasts, and Fusion Armament are going to be confirmed URs. So Nightmare Magician being one of the new Illusion monsters. Discard battles, neither can be destroyed by that battle. Pretty much, I think all the Illusion monsters have that ability. At the end of the damage step, discard battles an opponent's monster. You can take control of that opponent's monster. Once returned at the start of the damage step, if another monster attacks, you can destroy one card on the field. It's a neat card. I mean, it's got a lot of like good generic like applications, which would make sense being like a new type, right? It's an interesting situation because, like, as far as illusions go, pretty much all of the monsters of this new type support, like, exactly one archetype. So I guess they had to throw in, like, at least one generic one here, which, I mean, this card is definitely not bad. It does a lot of things. Those things are even good, but I don't know how useful it will be even in, like, a dedicated illusion deck. Also, a new icon here for illusion. Looks like it's, it kind of looks like Chimera with, like, the Millennium Eye on his forehead. Interesting. Okay. Altergeist Adminia, we did talk about this one, I think, in at least some amount of detail in the last This Week in Master Duel video. And I'll say the same thing I said there, right? This is going to be a definite improvement for Altergeist in terms of their Link 4. Altergeist's previous Link 4, Memory Gant, I think it was called, definitely nowhere near as good as this one. Memory Gant only has some, like, attack boosting / battle effects. This one actually does things that the Altergeist archetype cares about, setting their trap cards. You can take control of opponent's monsters and even treat it as an Altergeist monster. But, as people in the comments of that video pointed out, like, you know, Altergeist does not need a new Link 4. It needs more ways to begin and, like, to start its plays, right? To begin its turn. So, a boost for the Altergeist deck, but I don't think it'll be one that pushes it up into too much relevance. Evolzar Lars, again, we did talk about this one in good enough detail already, but, yeah, I mean, being a generic rank 6 that can do some, on-field negation is pretty relevant, and it's a nice boost for Dinos. It's a nice boost for, again, any archetype that can make rank 6s, right? So that's pretty cool. Chimera, the King of Phantom Beasts. For those who are not familiar with this new Chimera archetype, I'll just read off this particular boss monster here. It's a level 6 with 2100 attack, 1800 defense beast fusion effect. Takes a beast and a fiend monster as their fusion materials. This card's name becomes Chimera, the flying mythical beast, while on the field or in the graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Chimera, the king of phantom beast, once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can activate this effect. Send one random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard during the end phase of this turn. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, target one beast, fiend, or illusion monster in your graveyard, and special summon it. So, the new Chimera stuff I know can play with Branded, but I have to emphasize can, because while this deck, Chimera Branded, right, has done decently in the TCG, not even decently, it's done well enough, right, getting tops and stuff. One of the main things to remember, as far as like differences in our formats go, is that, the Branded deck in the TCG has 3 Branded fusions, so my card is still at 3, I believe, in the TCG, and we only have the 1 copy. I'm not a Branded expert myself, but I've heard people who do play Branded say that the Chimera variant probably won't be as good in Master Duel, because I think even in general, and again, I'm not very knowledgeable about Branded in general, but especially this variant, I don't think the Chimera variant of Branded is necessarily even better than the current variant we have. So I don't know if I can really say that these cards coming out are going to be a boost for Branded, but if nothing else, it will be a different and honestly equally valid way to play the illusion stuff that's coming out here. So, Fusion Armament. I've heard people talking about this card, but what does it actually do? I haven't read it yet. Normal spell, reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck. Special summon one of the fusion materials whose name is mentioned on that monster from your extra deck or or graveyard. But until the end of your opponent's turn, it cannot attack, and its effects, if any, are negated. You can only activate 1 fusion armament per turn. Yeah, I started reading this and I was like, is this not just fusion deployment? But it's not actually, because rather than summoning from the main deck, this one actually summons from the extra deck or graveyard. Now that has some really interesting implications, honestly, right? Of course, just like fusion deployment, fusion armament can only grab a named material monster, right? So it has to specifically list it. So you can't, for example, show... Well, actually, here's an example. You can't show Tearlament's Rolkalos and then... Or rather, you can't show Tearlament's Kikalos off of Fusion Armament and then just summon out, any Aqua monster or, any Dark monster from the extra deck. It's not at all how that works. But what you can do is you can reveal Tearlament's Rolkalos, just as an example. I don't think this is actually good in Tearlament's, and then summon Tearlament's Kikalos because it is specifically listed as a named fusion material requirement. It's kind of the same with King of the Swamp, right? King of the Swamp can't replace something like any generic typed monster on a fusion requirement. It just replaces something with a specific name. So yeah, this will be interesting, right? Again, the ability to summon out fusion materials out of the extra deck might end up coming up. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't think of anything too specific. But if nothing else, it is a new tool for fusion decks to end up playing with there. So those are going to be the cover cards for the newest secret pack, or selection pack, rather, here. Just based on what we've been given here, I'm just making sure there's not anything else I'm missing in the notes here. Just based off what we've been given here, I personally am probably not going to open any of this selection pack, but I don't think it's a terrible pack, right? It really just comes down to, do you want the stuff in it? And again, the things in here, the illusion stuff, Fusion Armament, Volzar Lars, Altergeist, the new Altergeist support, particularly the Link 4, they are definitely good in their own respective decks, but, as far as, pulling for a new archetype, I don't know. Again, the illusions for me are not really a draw by themselves, because by themselves, I don't think they're going to be a competitive archetype. Again, you can play them with Branded, but I don't necessarily believe, and again, I have to emphasize, I am not a Branded expert. I'm going off of mostly what people who are more knowledgeable than me, what I've heard them say, is that this will not necessarily be the best way to play Branded moving forward, but a decent alternative way. So, I think unless you're interested in playing, exactly like Chimera Branded, this selection pack, you're probably better off skipping, and you can just craft stuff that you might need, like a Volzar Lars, or Fusion Armaments, or, whatever else you might happen to need there. So, Again, we never know. They could randomly just drop a staple into this pack, and then all of a sudden it's worth it. But again, even if they do drop another UR staple, I don't even know what that would be off the top of my head, but you could probably just craft it instead of pulling for it here. Okay, so that's the new selection pack. Let's talk about the new secret packs. I think this is actually a bigger deal. And it's funny because usually it's the other way around. Usually the selection pack is like the big deal, and then the secret pack's like, oh, whatever. But these secret packs that are about to release here soon actually have a lot of follow-up support for past archetypes, right? Stuff we've been waiting a lot for, like Rescue Ace. We're going to see Pearly here as well, and then Makono getting its follow-up support too. So I think that's really interesting, and I think it kind of makes a little bit more sense why they delayed the release of the follow-up support for all these like archetypes, right? It's because they were just planning on putting them in secret packs. We did see Konami do this before, actually, with Mathmech Circular as well as Skystrike Mobilize Engage, or not Engage, the Quick Play spell, the one that lets them OTK. Linkage, that one. They dropped those as new cards into the secret pack that Mathmech and Skystriker were both a part of, right? So this is not unprecedented. It's an interesting move. It's a very, like... it's so rude of them. I have to emphasize this, and this will be the section of the video where I kind of rant about this, right? This is a gripe I've had with Konami for, like, so long when it comes to pack releases in Master Duel. Why do we only find out 3 to 4 days in advance? In this case, it was so blatantly to get us to spend gems, right, on the last pack, and then drop all of these other very relevant ones on us too. It's just such a blatantly, like, money-grubbing move, in my opinion. And it's a big gripe I have, again, with not just, like, this particular release in general, but the fact that, like, you know, let me scroll down here and find, yeah, upcoming Forbidden Limited List change. Why do we get to know about this, like, over 2 weeks in advance, but we have less than a week's notice when it comes to new packs coming out? Let me tell you something, especially as a content creator, that makes my job so much harder. It makes it so much harder to, like, plan for releases, to, like, I don't know, God, especially, I'm not doing this anymore, but especially back when I was, like, actually opening the packs as soon as they dropped at, again, 3 a.m. my time, like, I can't tell you how many days I would like wake up early, open the pack, go to work, come back home, stream again, and just be like, all right, I'm just going to be up for 24 hours and have a miserable day. Whereas, like, you know, if I'd be given proper notice, I can maybe take work off or something. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's so clearly to, like, get you to spend money, right? That's why they don't tell us until a couple of days out. But it's like, come on, Konami, please, can we know a little bit sooner? For God's sake. All right, anyway, that's my rant on that. New secret pack, Rescue Team Emergency Dispatch. This is going to be Rescue Ace plus Machina. I don't really know why Rescue Ace are with Machina, that they're both machines, but sure, why not? The big one here is going to be Rescue Ace Preventer, as well as Emergency, which I'm actually going to talk about both these cards separately. Rescue Ace Preventer, I think is confirmed to be a UR here. Yes, it is going to be a UR. So is a level 8 fire machine, 2800 attack and defense. You can banish one Rescue Ace card from your graveyard, special summon this card from your hand. If you control another Rescue Ace monster, quick effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, change it to face down defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Rescue Ace monsters except a level 8 monster, special summon it. You can only use each effect of Rescue Ace Preventer once per turn. So wow. This card is phenomenal, and it's not hard at all to see why Rescue Ace is so much improved after getting this card into the game. It's insane. Like, honestly, this card kind of does everything, right? It can summon itself, it can recycle the thing that it summons, and it's also disruption. It's another big body. I think really particularly being another big body that has disruption is very much something that Rescue Ace was looking for. That and also a little bit more consistency, which it will also very likely be getting. I'm actually going to go over here to a Yugipedia tab here for a moment to talk about Emergency, the new Rescue Ace spell card, which hasn't necessarily been confirmed, I don't think. Let's actually go back to this here. Yeah, they don't talk about Emergency here specifically, but it'd be very shocking if they did not drop this card as well. Let's read this card too. Emergency is a quick play spell card that says this card is always treated as a Rescue Ace card, like all the other Rescue Ace spell and trap cards. Special summon 1 Rescue Ace monster from your deck in defense position, then attribute 1 Rescue Ace monster from your hand or field. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a Rescue Ace trap card in your graveyard. Set it. You can only use each effective emergency once per turn. So yeah, not only do we get another big body that also has an attached disrupt for the Rescue Ace archetype, but as you can see here, this card is so huge for consistency boosting. It's massive. This makes it so much easier to find Hydrant. It makes it easier to find all the other stuff you need too. Turbulence Preventer, the new card, right? Airlifter, like they all, oh my god, this is like exactly what Rescue Ace needed. I think honestly, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I feel like they needed this even more than Preventer, right? Whenever I played Rescue Ace, one of my big things was just trying to get to Hydrant consistently. Like, if you can get Hydrant, it's just such an uphill battle after that. But yeah, no, I think this card coming out is going to be huge. And I don't even think, I know that this card and Preventer coming out for Rescue Ace is going to be huge for the deck. So huge, in fact, that I'll be very interested to see what kind of a meta impact Preventer and Emergency have when they come into Master Duel. Because one thing that a lot of people who play Master Duel might not realize is that in the TCG and OCG, full power Rescue Ace and full power Snake Eye never existed at the same time. So this will be a completely unique situation for both decks in Master Duel. It'll be interesting to see how well they play being in the same meta, but also with each other. Because again, these decks have just never been at full power in the same card pool at the same time in previous, again, TCG and OCG formats. So, you know, will Rescue Ace Snake Eye, like, be the big top meta deck? Will it be better than pure Snake Eye? Will Rescue Ace in general actually, you know, have a fighting chance against Snake Eye? Well, the pure variant, again, I kind of just said the same thing twice there. We'll see. We'll have to see how it ends up shaking out. But I do think that this archetype will have a fairly significant meta impact, much like the next one we're going to talk about. Although, I think Rescue Ace will have more of an impact than some of the other ones we talk about here. Oh, Makonko's next. I thought Pearly was going to be next. Yeah, we'll talk about Makonko briefly. Makonko does get some more new support here. I think this is actually a new ritual monster for them, isn't it? I have no idea. I have no clue now that I think about it. I'll read it out loud anyway. Maybe this card already exists in Master Duel. I don't think it does, but Arahime the Manifestor Makonko is a level 9 ritual 0 attack and defense fairy ritual effect. You can also ritual summon this card with Makonko Kagura. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card, much like Ohime, the one that the level 6 one. If you have this card in your hand or graveyard, and another Makonko card in your graveyard, you can target one face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it as an equip spell. You can only use this effect of Arahime the Manifestor Makonko once per turn. Once per turn during the end phase, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can return this card to the equipped monster to the hand. This card's kind of ass, isn't it? Like, I don't know. I mean, it does the same thing that Ohime does in terms of, like, yeah, the inherit can't be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes the battle damage effect. Like, in that regard, I guess it does have that going for it, but, like, Ohime is also good because it searches, and that's like, and also equips stuff from graveyard. It just has so many relevant effects that do a lot. This card does like nothing. You have this card in your hand or graveyard, another Makonko card in your graveyard. You can target a face-up monster on the field, equip this card to it as an equip spell. Is this not just like the slowest bounce effect in the world? I don't know, maybe Makonko also like actively wants to put its own stuff back into the hand during the end phase, huh? Like, I'm trying to justify this card's existence in my head, and as somebody who doesn't play Makonko, it's already going to be that much more difficult in that regard, but again, in terms of this, like, being a good card that the deck wants to play, I don't see it, but, maybe it's there. Maybe I'm just not seeing it, who knows. Makonko finally getting its own secret pack is pretty cool. It's a little unfortunate that's to be paired with Guardian. It makes sense thematically, like, they both care about equip spells, so, like, I get that, but, like, ugh, Guardian, for those who don't know, Guardian is, like, abysmally awful archetype. Just completely, honestly, just unplayable, in my opinion, but finally, we have the last new secret pack here, my cute, lovely friends. I didn't know they made you all and my viewers into a secret pack. That's cool. No. Well, no, I do mean that. You are very cute and lovely. yeah, we got Epperly and Melfi going into the same pack. This is actually a pretty stacked pack here, as both archetypes are fairly relevant. And most importantly, we are getting Little Nor, the rank 2 Epperly Nor, which I do believe is, yes, going to be a UR. So, Epperly Nor is going to be a new rank 2 for the deck. It's got 1,000 attack, 2,000 defense, 2 level 2 monsters, although you can also, of course, use the Purrely and Purrely's effects to just cheat it out. But anyway, once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, or, excuse me, up to 2 if this card has Purrely Sleepy Memory as material. Return that card to the hand. Oh, yeah, because you can bounce up to 2. That makes sense, yep. Up to thrice per turn. When you activate a Purrely Quick Play spell card, quick effects, you can attach that card to the field to this card as a material. Then you can set 1 Purrely trap directly from your deck. That's massive. That so greatly boosts the consistency of Purrely and its ability to actually make the X-Purrely Noir, right? Because previously, the only way that Purrely really had to make a Noir on turn 1 was to go Delicious into Plump and then, you know, stack up a bunch of materials and go into X-Purrely Noir. But with Delicious being limited, it's really, really hard to do that consistently. Now, with Sleepy Memory still being at 3 in Master Duel, now you can go into Epperly Noir, and then you don't even have to necessarily use Sleepy Memory. Just go into this, right? And then once you attach any Purrely Quick Play spell, you can directly set Purrleap from your deck, which will then allow you to go into the X-Purrely Noir on your opponent's turn. So, yeah, it's another way for the deck to access its main kind of combo line, so to speak, or at least its main inboard in the form of your big X-Purrely Noir. And again, I'm here for it. Like, I think that Purrely has been hit too hard, too fast, and I am honestly looking forward to seeing it being meta-relevant again. I don't think it'll be quite as meta-relevant as Rescue Ace. Like, I think even... Oh, I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll definitely just have to see. I think even with Epperly Noir... I don't know. It's really hard to say, honestly, where any of these decks are going to shake out. Just because, like... Again, the format is so different in terms of card pool from TCG and OCG, particularly with Rescue Ace, well, Rescue Ace will be at full power, but Snake Eye is what I meant to say. With Snake Eye running around at full power, yeah, it'll be very interesting to see, like, how these decks that were in the TCG and OCG, the previous meta, then they got hit, then Snake Eye came out, right? It'll be interesting to see how things end up kind of shaking out here. So, I think that pretty much covers it. Like I said, we have this surprise new pack dropped on us, so definitely expect me to be opening this pack at some point this week on stream. We'll be looking at some of the new stuff, and of course we will be covering it here on the channel as well. Thank you everybody so very much for watching. Let's go ahead and move now to our outro. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. That means a lot to me. It's also a great way to support the channel, so thank you very much in that way as well. If you're interested in supporting the channel in other ways, like the very special patrons that I am thanking here, you can do so by checking out some of the links in the description. One of those goes to the Patreon, where you can join these fine folk and support the channel that way. I do post daily content over on Patreon, so you do get something for supporting there. And if you're interested, I also have a coaching tier option as well. Details again will be on Patreon in the link below. Also in the description linked below is my Twitch page where I stream a few times a week. You can go ahead and check that out, follow or subscribe over there if you ever want to catch me live. You'll also find my second YouTube channel if you feel like subscribing over there to watch some of the Twitch VODs as well as some additional non-Yu-Gi-Oh related content that I make over there. Again, any of those links you want to check out is all a great way of supporting. But again, even if you don't do that, just watching was also a fantastic way to support. And once again, I have to thank you so very much. But in any case, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out, and I'm hoping you have a fantastic day.